Photography has been a medium for capturing moments in time and preserving them for posterity. This topic showcases 40 vintage photos of the most interesting portraits in history, giving a glimpse into the lives of individuals who have left an indelible mark on the world and the photographers who captured their essence. Let's dive into each image and find the story behind it. This image was captured in 1923, featuring two fashionable women sitting inside a train compartment. They dressed up as flappers, enjoying each other's company by lighting cigarettes. This photograph was captured way back in 1910 during the Russian Empire. In this photo, two peasant girls carry water from a sleigh to a hut. Here is another historical image featuring a man feeding many pigeons on a pigeon bus, which served as a collecting point for messenger pigeons from the front lines. The photograph you see here is of Civil War veteran ISADORA BANOR, got captured 1 year before the start of the First World War. The man shown in this picture lived to the age of 102 in Port Clinton, Ohio. The immense relief of Jewish prisoners is shown in this historical picture after they got released by the American Army in April 1945. The picture depicts the all-black HARLEM HELLFIGHTERS who served the longest in World War I. The photograph got captured in 1919, shortly after receiving the Croix de Guerre for their bravery during combat in France. This picture depicts Franz Reichelt, an Austrian inventor, who died when he fell from the Eiffel Tower on February 4, 1912. He tried to jump off the tower to demonstrate his new low-altitude parachute, but he failed. This picture captured in 1947 demonstrates the polar adventurer Peter Fruchen with his wife Dagmar Fruchen-Gale. Fruchen, a daring man, is dressed in a polar bear coat created from a bear he killed on his own. The person sitting in this picture is a Nazi minister of propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, and the cameraman, Alfred Einstad, was Jewish, which clarifies the strange expression of the minister. Born into slavery, the 6-foot-tall woman, Stagecoach Mary, was described as having a temper like a grizzly bear. She was the nation's first black postmistress in the late 1800s. Now on to the picture that will undoubtedly cause you to go through a bridge of emotions. THEATRICS Bailey, a sibling of the Lorraine Motel owner in Memphis, Tennessee. Have you heard of this place before? Yes, this is the site of Martin Luther King Jr.'s assassination, and Bailey was cleaning the blood off the balcony shortly after the incident. With a firearm, Bonnie and Clyde joke around. During their crime spree, the outlaws left a camera. Many pictures are similar to these at the crime scene. Whet the thirst of newspaper readers. This picture depicts the smiling Russian snipers during World War II. About 2,000 women got trained as snipers by the Soviet Union. Lyudmila Pavlichenko, one of them, killed 300 people alone. In the early 20th century, he designed and built one of the first atmospheric diving suits, which allowed divers to descend to great depths while maintaining a breathable atmosphere. In this photo taken circa 1911, McDuffie stands proudly next to his invention, which proved to be a significant advancement in deep-sea exploration and underwater construction. On January 1, 1943, enigmatic inventor Nikola Tesla was captured in his final ever photograph. Tesla died alone and poor despite creating a lot of innovations throughout his lifetime. In 1953, Queen Elizabeth II got crowned in a lavish ceremony, and her son Prince Charles was in attendance. However, as captured in a famous photograph, the young prince appeared quite bored, standing between his grandmother, the Queen Mother, and his mother during the event. During World War II, a Polish unit adopted a bear named Wojtek into its army. He became a beloved mascot of the Polish army and even helped carry ammunition during the Battle of Monte Cassino. An interesting fact is that Wojtek consumed alcohol, smoked cigarettes, and even had a unique rank and serial number. In the picture taken in 1981, Muhammad Ali learned that a guy had made suicide threats close to his house. Ali hopped in his car and sped over to the situation, where he persuaded the distraught man to go back inside. On August 6, 1945, hell descended upon Nagasaki, Japan. The United States dropped a nuclear bomb on a Japanese city in the last stages of World War II, instantly killing at least 70,000 people. In this picture, you can see the destruction surrounding the city's Urakami Church. American actor Mr. T played Santa Claus during a visit to the White House in December 1983, but to his sorrow, nobody took a seat on his lap, until Nancy Reagan, the First Lady, sat down and kissed him on the forehead for good measure. So, which picture do you find the most interesting? Well, watch the other ones and find it out yourself. Princess Diana died in this wrecked automobile that crashed against the wall of a tunnel in Paris. The adored People's Princess perished on August 31, 1997, in a fatal vehicle accident while being chased by paparazzi. This picture depicts a 6-year-old girl, Ruby Bridges, on the way to attend her first day of school on November 14, 1960, while being followed by a government agent. A yelling mob greeted Bridges when he entered the all-white William Frantz Elementary School in New Orleans as the first African-American student. A slave called Gordon fled his Mississippi plantation in 1863 and took refuge in the Union Army. Images of the horrific wounds on his back spread widely across the country and served as a rallying cry against slavery. Jubilant crowds filled Times Square in New York City on August 14, 1945, following the end of World War II. The atmosphere was electric with joy and relief. People expressed gratitude to the men and women who had fought in the war. Martin Luther King Jr. dedicated his entire life to promoting the rights of African Americans. He was a skilled pool player. Nevertheless, in his spare time, here he was hitting a trick shot in 1966. For a very long time, historians and archaeologists have been captivated by the giant heads of Easter Island. Yet there's more to it than meets the eye. Ever since 1914, archaeologists have looked into the torsos of these amazing monuments. William E. Thomas and Joseph Jackson, two artillery soldiers, prepare Easter eggs on March 10, 1945, in the final days of World War II. Good Easter Adolf and Easter eggs for Hitler are written on the shells. This picture depicts 5-year-old Anne Frank, captured by her father Otto Frank. His photographs would later become an essential part of her legacy, providing a rare glimpse into the life of a young Jewish girl during one of the darkest periods in history. The following photograph was shot in Brooklyn in 1940, demonstrating these girls protesting the high school dress rule. This protest banned slacks for girls. Next, we have a beautiful vintage photograph from 1910 which shows two ladies enjoying tea while sitting in the lovely backyard of their home in the Scottish Highlands. The following historic yet interesting photograph got captured in November 1909. It depicts 3 members of the PAYRO family being photographed by their cat. The elder boy Edmund is 12, the younger boy Ernest is 8, and the youngest Cecilia is of 5 years. As shown in this image, a 28-foot crocodile got captured in Australia. Yet some contend that the camera's forced perspective is to blame for the crocodile's size. In 1972, these skeletons, which appear to be in an eternal embrace, were found in northern Iran. Archaeologists believe they died in a violent invasion in 800 BC. Even though their link to one another is still unknown. In 1899, renowned sharpshooter Annie Oakley practiced her aim in a hand mirror. She could easily hit targets behind her back with a bullseye. In this photograph taken in 1963, a young Bill Clinton shook the hand of President John F. Kennedy. A little child eagerly smashes the Berlin Wall with a hammer and chisel, which finally fell on November 9, 1989. The wall separated East and West Germany for 28 years. To sell war bonds during World War I, 18,000 troops assembled in Des Moines, Iowa to build a human Statue of Liberty in 1918. In September 1918, 2 young women delivered ice in Manhattan. Women had never held professions like these in the United States until World War I, when there was a lack of males. Animal trainer and lion tamer Jack Bonavita takes pictures with his lions. In 1917, Bonavita, a well-known circus performer in turn-of-the-century New York, was killed by one of his animals. However, it wasn't a lion, but a polar bear. Last but not least, this photograph depicts the first underwater image which got clicked in 1899. That's all for today's video. For more such interesting content, give this video a big thumbs up and drop a comment. Subscribe to us for more such content, and we'll see you in the next